Jim was determined to become aesthetic. He tried following every program he could find, eating all the right foods, and training harder than ever before. He still couldn't achieve the physique that he desired, and eventually he was tired and ended up binge eating and neglecting his workouts. Then there was Achilles. He didn't need fancy equipment or endless supplements, but just the most minimal equipment and his own body. He trained with extreme focus and precision. He tracked his workouts and strived to be better every day without comparing himself to others. An aesthetic body really comes down to two things being locked in: proper muscle development in the key areas of your body, and number two, being lean enough to actually show that muscle development. If you have those two things in order, that's the aesthetic body. If you have muscle development but you have fat coating your entire body, then you just look like a fat guy with some muscle underneath. I was that, not fat, but I was chubby like this, and a lot of people walk around like that. They have a lot of muscle development, but it just looks really round. It doesn't look aesthetic. Similarly, you might have really lean people who have low body fat, but because their muscles are not developed in the right way or in the right areas, and therefore doesn't look proportionate, they don't have that V taper, then they also don't look aesthetic as well. So it really comes down to these two things. In this video, let's break it down. How do you get that proportionate muscle development on the one hand? How do you get lean on the other? So the first thing that we'll consider is having good muscle development in key areas of your body. The main way to do this is through resistance training. Resistance training means going to the gym or doing body weight exercises, but it's different to cardio or playing football or doing everyday sports. Doing these sports are very focused on endurance. They're very fun. They're a very healthy way of improving your cardiovascular health, but it's not really effective at building an aesthetic body because it's not geared towards packing on muscle. You must incorporate some form of resistance training. That's the first thing. The next thing is you want to be focusing on compound movements that engage multiple muscles at the same time and allow you to build strength, because building strength on these key compound movements are what's going to build muscle in the right areas of your body. This begs the question, so which muscles should you focus on? And I'll just give you the tiers, right? When you're first building out the aesthetic body, you need to start with the biggest bang for your buck body parts. And those are your chest, your back, and your shoulders in your upper body. This is what builds that V taper look. This is what gives you that upper half of your upper body. And you do that through incline bench press, incline dumbbell bench press, or variations of the shoulder press, like the overhead press or the dumbbell shoulder press. And in your back, you hit your back with various kinds of pull-ups or chin-ups or rows. If you only could train for an aesthetic body right now, I would focus on those three muscle groups with the exercises that I mentioned. Then you have the next tier. This is also very important, and this is the legs and your glutes. You've seen big Chad guys, with pumped up upper bodies and tiny skinny pigeon legs. It's a really bad look. You look very narcissistic and vain, and it just isn't proportionate, because you need a strong and developed and athletic and agile lower body to go with that upper body. That holistic look is really what builds the aesthetic body. And if you actually talk to a lot of girls and say, hey, what do you think is like an attractive part on a guy's body, a lot of them will say glutes, a lot of them will say thighs, because that is where our masculinity resides. It's actually the generator of testosterone if you do a lot of leg exercises as well. So you don't want those skinny legs, you want to train your legs, and the best way to do that is through conventional squats and the deadlifts, where you can move massive weight. And this is probably the fastest way to actually pack on muscle. But the problem with these heavy weights is that they can lead to injury. They can really take a lot out of your system in terms of your energy and your fatigue, which makes it very hard to sustain. But if you're not into that, opt for unilateral versions like the Bulgarian split squat, the single leg Romanian deadlifts, the hip thrusts, the Nordic curls, the sissy squats, these kinds of things that will really build nice glutes as well as a very lean but powerful lower body. You've got tier 2 down. Tier 3, this is the icing on the cake. If you really want your physique to pop and really accentuate that V-taper proportionate look, where the upper half of your upper body sort of comes in and you've got that lean hip, good shoulder to hip ratio, lateral raises. Now I should technically put this in tier 1, because lateral raises are what give you this this kind of capped shoulder look. It's the middle part of your shoulder muscle, and that's what, when people look at you from the front, it gives you the illusion of a wider shoulder. You also have your traps and your neck. Neck training is something that I'm only now really getting into, because I realized that the upper half of your upper body is what people see when they meet you, and it's really what gives you that dominant kind of masculine attractive look if you have developed neck and developed traps. So this is tier 3, because I think for the majority of guys, what you should be focusing on is tier 1 and tier 2. If you're starting out in the gym, your training age is 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, you're just learning the compound movements, figuring out the form and learning how to build strength. For you to be doing all kinds of neck training and trap training, I just think it's not a waste of time, but it's a waste of your focus, because really what you should be focusing on is laying the foundations and getting really good at the fundamentals, and then, as I said, adding the icing on the cake once you know what you're doing. This is a more general point. You want to find a sustainable way of working out for the long run. This is so important, because let's be honest, do you know what you have to do in the gym? A lot of the time you do. You've watched so many videos or heard so many things that in your brain there is knowledge about what you need to do. You don't really need me to tell you to do an incline bench. You probably know you have to do that already. Problem is, you try it and then in a couple of months you stop, and then you stop going to the gym. You skip it once, you skip it twice, you have a legitimate excuse. Oh, I have an appointment. Oh, it was the dentist. Oh, it was a night out. But then those times that you miss just kind of stack up, and before you know it, you've fallen off track, and a couple of months go by, you're back to square one and you gotta go again. How many times have you repeated that cycle? And the reason that happens is not just because, oh, you lack motivation, oh, you don't have discipline. It may be some of those things, but one of the biggest things that I see, they would try to do too much too quickly. They would do too many exercises, they would train too many days a week, they would rest too little, okay? And they would try to pack in so much in such a small amount of time that it would lead to burnout and just too much fatigue, and they cannot sustain that over the long run. Because as I always say, it's not just about your physical energy, it's your mental energy that gets depleted. And when your mental energy is depleted, you have no motivation to return to the gym. So it's so vitally important that you find a system of training that you can sustain over the long run. And when you do it, you must feel like, oh my God, this is enjoyable. And you must feel like, you know what, I could actually do this for the rest of my life, for as long as I want. This is really the long-term answer to an aesthetic body. I was talking to a one-on-one client, and he was saying this exact same thing. He was saying, I actually, for the first time, really enjoy the workouts. He actually looks forward to training because it's minimalist, because it doesn't burn you out, because his time is short and he has time to do other things with his life afterwards. He's in there, intense workout, he's out of there, he has other hobbies. That is the beauty of minimalist training. If you are into that kind of style of training where you have, time to do all kinds of other things, but once you're in the gym, you got focused intent, then check out the link below, because I have an entire program explaining how to go from beginner to advanced using the minimalist training system. Let's talk about the second pillar. The second pillar is you want to get lean enough to show your gains. How do you do that? Talked about it in countless other videos. You got to be eating a caloric deficit. But if you're just eating at a caloric deficit all the time, you're going to lose muscle. That's why the first pillar is so important. You must accompany the caloric deficit phase with resistance training, so you preserve muscle. And for the beginners and some intermediates out there, not only are you preserving muscle, you're actually gaining strength and muscle as you lose fat, and that's how you cause a really amazing body recomposition effect. Next thing, what's another way to make sure you don't lose muscle? And that is to get enough protein. I'll do a whole separate video on protein, so if you're into that, hit the subscribe button. Basically, for most beginners, you want to be aiming for more than 100 grams of protein every day. It's already hard enough to do that, but if you're really serious and you're trying to maximize, aim for 120 or 140 grams plus. Of course, it depends on your current muscle mass, your training age, how big you are, how much you do, and blah, 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 blah. But I feel like that is actually a good metric for a lot of people to go by, because it's easy to calculate, it's easy to remember. And once you hit those levels, it's not that easy to hit 140 grams of protein, by the way. What else do you do? It's walk, drink, and sleep. These three things will make you lean like crazy, especially the first one, the walking. Right, I've made separate videos on cardio, but all this cardio, intense cardio that you do, like football, boxing, hiking, you feel like you burn a lot of fat because you're sweating and panting all the time, but you actually didn't burn that many calories. It's so easy to eat that amount in food because of the resulting hunger spike. Whereas if you walk, you don't get that hunger spike, and it's good for your mood, it gets you thinking creatively, and it actually burns calories very effectively. So if you walk, let's say 8,000, 9,000, 10,000 steps a day without the hunger spike, this is such an effective way of dropping body fat. You want to accompany that with a lot of hydration, a lot of drinking, because what does that do? It balances out the hunger signals, those false hunger signals. When you're like, I want to eat, you're actually thirsty, you're just dehydrated. But if you drank, a pint of water, you'll find after a couple of minutes the hunger's gone. Not to mention it washes out the toxins. It's just healthy for you as well. Finally, sleep. Sleep is just so important for our overall health and function. Deep restorative sleep makes sure that our muscles are recovered to train and go again. But REM sleep is actually responsible for motivation and feeling like we're up for stuff. How important are those two things on the journey of building an aesthetic body? That you're properly recovered and properly motivated to keep going. So don't underestimate these things, guys, like sleep, walk, drinking. Most people are just like, what's the best angle on an incline bench pump? When actually, if you focused on sleep and walking more, it would have a bigger margin of difference. Finally, guys, I'll leave you with this one point, is that a body transformation journey is as much an identity shift as it is just pumping iron in the gym. The reason you fall off track and give up and binge eat and all of these things, it's not just because, oh, you're an idiot, you lack discipline. It's like you have a certain identity that's making you hold on to your current body and making you self-sabotage on your journey. So if you want to fix that, then you need to work on some of the deeper layers of your identity and really work on the mindset, the inner game. You have to do that on this process as well, and that's how you maintain your newfound aesthetic body effortlessly throughout time. I hope this video helped you. Let's get you aesthetic ASAP.